Hey, we're going to be crafting opal rings again, using prismatic and pristine fossils, so that's more elemental modifiers and more life modifiers. And so basically the best type of ring that we want to get would have something like this, where we'd hit elemental damage with attack skills, elemental damage, and also some increased element damage. So we can go ahead and get started. And we're using 84 eye level bases. So this allows us to hit T1 res. That's the only difference between 81 through 83 and 84. So we will simply get started applying these resonators. So this is not a bad one, but I like to avoid crafted life. And then again, I usually consult these rings. Pretty much you can see the lower the life, the less likely it is to sell, by definition of the things I have left. I think we'll just roll over, try to commit to higher standards. Again, low life. The thing is, when you look at rings like those, they're actually listed for quite high, but I think they're just very hard to sell. That's a nice ring because it has 90 life, but there's no other stats going for it. Dead life roll. Hit a tier 1 res there. I haven't really hit rings that have nice stats like 40 plus int, which are useful to some people. Like this one, this is tier 1, tier 2 intelligence. Keep going. Well, perhaps since I prepared so many bases, we can be more lenient with the ones to keep. Hmm. 6 mod. Might be keepable if it had an open affix of sorts. So that's the delve mod we want, and basically anything with the delve mod is usually worth a good amount, like 70 chaos or more. As long as there's life in delve mod. So promising but low rolls. Delve mod with 30 life. So that one's keepable. It might sell for a little bit with 30 resist and an open prefix. You can craft increased damage on it, and you'll probably get about like 50% damage from the explicit mods. It's a fake 60 life ring. Ooh, this one has a lot of mods and a tier 2 and dexterity. So I think this is a keeper. So it's tier 2 life and super high dexterity. The elemental damage is a bit lacking, but again, like all the stats that are on there are pretty good, except the elemental damage. And so there's definitely somebody who might want to keep that. Wow. This is an item level 82 ring. I'm actually not sure what it's doing here. Seems fake. It's actually not a bad ring either. I think it might have been an old ring that I could not sell. So we hit a lot of resistances there. Also a lot of resistances. Essentially what I found is anything below 50 explicit life and even crafted life gets quite hard to sell. Like even 60 chaos won't cut it. The life of duds. So a pretty numerically consistent ring. I haven't really even seen any, like, a ring with 60 plus life and the delve mod is something I would keep. But we haven't seen any of those. This one pretty basic. It's like maybe keepable, sell for like some, that's like a very generic ring, right? Like not necessarily a one that highlights the strengths of delve crafting. Promising, but No mods rolled. Also hit the delve mod. In general, we don't seem to be hitting any pairs of high life rolls and high elemental damage, which is pretty unfortunate. I mean, that's exactly what we're aiming for. We are hitting the delve mod a lot today, actually. But everything has to fall into place. Okay. I would actually consider annulling this one to salvage the ring. Basically I have a 1/3 chance, and I think I have a few annuls. So we want to get the cold damage with attacks. And even one of the resists, like 20 lightning resists, we wouldn't mind. Never lucky. Got the delve mod. We're actually, yeah, almost out of resonators. It's a pretty unfortunate session. Because usually with that many resonators, I will be able to at least find sellable rings for all of these. So promising, but no open affixes at all, no resists. I mean, the thing is, a caster build is often deck starved, so there's actually some niche for this one. And we could sell it for like 60 chaos maybe, with the tier 1 life. And the reason I talk about caster builds is because let's pretend there's no attack skills there. So those people want elemental damage mods, for which we've hit the delve mod on that one. It's a lot of resistances, but those rings I found actually do not sell. That is tier 1 mana regeneration, I believe, yep. There's not much else going for that ring. That's actually not a bad ring. If you pretend that delve mods don't exist, then this is the best Opal ring for a caster with cold damage. And you craft life on it and add a bunch of stuff. So it'd be like a 50 life, 90 resist ring, almost 100. Tier 1 fire damage. I'm actually tempted to annul this one as well. It's salvageable with a good annul. We'll save it for now. $50 life, 60 res. So for example, if we annul off the lightning damage, then we have like a 60 res ring with high flat fire, and you add elemental damage to attacks. If you annul off the life recovery, you have a very high res ring. The thing is, anyone who wants the flat fire will also want elemental damage with attacks, so it's a bit tricky to get right. Last one. Alright, so that's a pretty bad session. We will rage annul this one. I think we annulled off one of the suffixes. Yeah, the high cold res. Might as well keep it. So that concludes the session. Let's take a look at the rings we keep. Oh, this one was actually maybe worth annulling more. now that I think about it. We basically have a 1/2 chance on this one. Perhaps I will buy an annul. This one has an open prefix, so it has pretty good damage and low res. Thing is, if you think about it, crafting like increased damage on it essentially gives you, it's only a little more than the highest tier of elemental damage with attacks, which is like 37. So this one, not bad. It's a very generic ring. Like I said, just life and the Delve mod will sell for a decent amount, and we craft the open prefix. This one is probably the best ring of the session. This one has a niche for cold casters with crafted life. And this one we rage annulled and did not turn out too well. Anyway, that being said, we can craft and try to, probably I will find an annul and try to annul this one. Oh, and there's someone buying a ring, so let's take a look. He's offering 1 exalted for Torment Eye. So this is, yeah, this is 70 life ring with 15 resist and crafted elemental damage, which kind of kills it. The fire damage is tier 5, so I'll take that. Honestly, I'm reaching endgame, so I really don't mind selling most of these rings. But yeah, that concludes the session.